The All-Stars for the NBA have been decided, and so have the contestants for the three-point and dunk contests. And Marshawn Lynch finally opens up to the media. The crew discusses how this impacts his image moving forward, because the power play starts right now. Hello all and welcome to the Power Play. I'm Pat Gunther here alongside Joseph and Johnny Lombardi. Guys, how are you doing today?
I'm just here so I don't get fined. And, you know, I'm all about that action, boss. But
Okay, all right, okay.
I'm here to show off my inner Skip Bayless. I know I'm
That's what we're doing today?
I'm here to show off my inner Skip Bayless.
Well, guys, I am just thankful to be here, but let's get into it. With that, I guess we'll get into today's first topic. Now, although Marshawn Lynch does not like talking to the media, he did actually go again yesterday for his mandatory 5 minutes. But this time, he told reporters the same answer to each question, but with a different phrase. Let's take a listen.
Hey, look, all week, I done told y'all what's up. And for some reason, y'all continue to come back and do the same thing that y'all did. I don't know what story y'all trying to get out of me. I don't know what image y'all trying to portray of me, but it don't matter what y'all think, what y'all say about me.
Now, guys, we know Marshawn is a man of very few words, hostile words at that, but he's still about that action. Does the NFL really need to keep forcing him to speak if he's so, terse when reporters ask him questions?
Well, Jared, I think that everyone's been saying, I agree with the fact that Marshawn Lynch doesn't owe anything to anyone, to reporters, whatever, he doesn't. But also at the same time, it's like, come on, dude. Is saying a little bit about the game that hard? It's in his contract as an NFL player that you have to talk to the media. Granted, he did go out there and talk and say words. They were meaningless words. They did result in clickbait for the media outlets, which they probably love, but it's also nothing of substance. But my stance on Marshawn Lynch is just, come on, dude. I find it a little bit childish. I find it unnecessary. I find it as a dangerous precedent that he's setting for younger NFL players and younger athletes, where they now think that I'm just going to do what I want to do. The rules of my job, the rules of my employer don't matter. I'm going to do me.
Well, I think you're wrong, first of all. I don't think it's wrong what he's doing. I think it's hard to try to make someone be who they're not. And even though you can see clips of him in the previous years when he's at different levels of football, he can talk to the media, but if he's developing to this person, he just wants to be quiet. He doesn't want any trouble. He was in Buffalo. He got sent to Seattle. He's having a great career here, the resurrection of his career. And at this point, all he wants to do is just be about that action. I have no issue with him not wanting to talk. And to be honest, I think it's kind of unfair that you force a player to talk to the media. Yes, you want the greatest players in the NFL to speak about the game and what they're going to be doing. But if he doesn't want to talk, I really wouldn't force him. And I don't think it's a dangerous precedent. I actually think it's a good thing. I think he's setting the standard that there are so many idiotic and stupid things people do in the media that hurt themselves. And he doesn't want to put himself in that position, or I really can't judge why he's doing it, but I'm just going to take a guess, and he just wants to be quiet. So he's going to just be himself. And if the coaches have no issue with it, the GM has no issue with it, then the NFL should not have an issue with it. Let him just chill, let him talk, and just go from there.
Well, I'm going to disagree with that because, yeah, the coach won't have an issue, the GM might not have an issue, but who do they work for? They work for Roger Goodell in the NFL. That is their boss.
Well,
that's Marshawn Lynch's boss.
Why don't they take Richard Sherman's advice and all be forced to talk then?
They should.
They should.
I agree with that.
Okay,
I agree that they should be, but that doesn't exclude Marshawn Lynch from not going up. Look, who else? He's trying to do his job on Sunday and win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Rest of everyone interviewing him in the media is trying to do their job as well. He can't go out there and at least give, we're working really hard for this game today, just trying to work hard, get ready for Sunday, prepare for New England. He can't give that. He's got to cop an attitude and try to be some hero for people who don't want to speak to the media, for athletes that just are uncomfortable talking to the media. You're a professional athlete in the United States.
He's not being a hero. He's being him.
Now, guys, with that, we've got a lot to talk about today. Very, very heated topic, but we're going to move on from the pigskin to the orange. here as LSU hosted the South Carolina Gamecocks Wednesday night in another barn burner. The Tigers pulled out the W, this time 64-58. But this game is sort of showing a trend for the Tigers. 6 out of their 7 contests have been decided by 7 points or less, and 3 of those games have gone into overtime, including the double OT win against Georgia earlier this month at home. So guys, what do you think the Tigers need to do to give themselves sort of a wider margin of victory when it comes to these close games?
There's a phrase my friend always said about basketball, and it's called pay rent. They have to learn to get into the paint and pay rent, because I've seen so many of their games, and even in that double overtime game, me and Johnny were there, they shot so many threes. They're like 11 of 26 from 3. If you can't make the 3, just get it inside. I don't care if you take 2-3 picks on one row. Get it to the basket. Jarrell Martin and Mickey, they're great players. So I know they know how to score inside. Just get them the ball, or get your guards in position to get into the basket. The only people who should be shooting threes are Hornsby, Patterson, and Quarterman, since he's gotten hot as of late, especially in that Georgia game.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you look at LSU this year, there are 2 losses, Missouri and Texas A&M, both games where they were up in the latter stages of the second half and started chucking up the ball, taking shots, and getting tight, and choked both of those games. LSU is extremely close to being undefeated in the SEC right now. But that's just the margin of that's how close the margin is for this team. I think that having these close games, I think it helps. You know, they're a young team in some parts, that having these close games, they say, you know, makes a team tougher, better, more equipped for later season games, especially going into the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament. But I agree with Jared. Get the ball inside. Jordan Mickey's your bread and butter. Jarrell Martin's your bread and butter. I don't understand when I see guys like Darcy Malone and Jarrell Martin trying to chuck up 3-pointers. It doesn't make sense. But if you find a hot hand like Tim Quarterman, who can be pretty versatile, or Keith Hornsby, who's been hitting from long range pretty well, give him the ball. And I also think Josh Gray is a huge factor. How he's going to play. Is he going to be good? Is he going to be bad? Are we going to have good Josh Gray? We're going to have bad Josh Gray. Because bad Josh Gray turns the ball over and is a huge liability for this team.
Absolutely, guys. And with that said, there's a lot more going on in the NBA as far as we're at the midway point in the season now. So we got the 3-point contest and the slam dunk contest. All those guys have been announced, but looking at the roster, it saddens me sort of to say that the 3-point contest may actually be more exciting than the dunk contest this year. In the 3-point contest, we have the 2 Splash Brothers, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, which is awesome. My man from Atlanta, Kyle Korver, Wesley Matthews, and of course the Duke all-time great JJ Redick. Those are some big-time 3-point shooter names. But in the dunk contest, we got the guy Zach LaVine of the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's got a 43-inch vertical. He gets up there. Victor Oladipo, former #1 pick from the Magic. Mason Plumlee from the Nets, and of course the Greek freak Giannis from the Milwaukee Bucks. None of these guys are really big-time names, though. So does this finally mark the bottom of the barrel for the dunk contest? And if so, do you think the fans should have to cry to the NBA stars to make the dunk contest more exciting?
Yes. We have LeBron James, Blake Griffin. If Kobe Bryant didn't already win when he might have done it once, but
there's no incentive.
No, there isn't, but it's always been a trend. You got the human highlight. Dominique Wilkinson's done it. And Michael Jordan has done it. I mean, and like I said, Kobe has done it. I'm pretty sure if Shaquille O'Neal was 6 inches shorter and had 10 more inches of a vertical, he'd have done it at one point. Vince Carter, boom. We need the stars to get back into the lineup, because this is the most exciting part of All-Star Weekend, at least for me. The game is great, but All-Star dunk contests are where it's at.
Johnny, what about the risk of injury, though? To play devil's advocate, you can't. If you have a guy like LeBron James, you don't want him out there. What if he sprains an ankle or breaks an ankle?
I mean,
Blake Griffin.
You can make that excuse, but in my view is LeBron. It's a dunk contest. You're going up and doing. I don't see that as a huge. I see the All-Star game with other competitors out on the floor going up for layups. I see that as a bigger liability risk than I do see a dunk contest where you can be creative and have some fun and, you know, have a certain level of carefulness to your approach to it. But I see both sides of the argument. I see what Jared's saying, where you want those marquee names to bring in the viewers. You want to see guys like LeBron and KD in the dunk contest, because that makes people go and watch. But on the other side, we've seen guys like Gerald Green from Utah really make a name for themselves with the dunk contest. Maybe that's this year. The Greek Freak will do that. Maybe Mason Plumlee will come out of nowhere.
Zach LaVine,
maybe
perfect
Zach
example.
LaVine. So I mean, you see guys make their names through this dunk contest, especially in recent years. But I definitely see you want those guys like Dwight Howard out there, Blake Griffin, high flyers, just bringing down the house. But you know, it's a lackluster lineup, but you never know what we'll get.
Exactly.
Ray Robinson and Dwight Howard can go 3 or 4 years into it. There's no reason no one else could. And Blake Griffin jumped over a car, so
Yeah.
injury isn't that much of an issue to me.
Well, guys, clearly, based on all this, we've got a great couple weeks of sports coming ahead of you, but unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. So, for Jared, Joseph, and Johnny Lombardi, I'm Pat Gunther, and we'll see you next week here on the Power Play.